Hello and welcome to Oz Scalemodeling, and welcome to the Revell Queen Mary 2 Ocean Liner build, and you're watching part 4. And if you're watching this series for the first time, you should go back and watch from part 1 or the unboxing. It's all part of this playlist which you can click on and watch. Otherwise, welcome, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you get notified when all these videos come out. And let's get on with this build. So where I'm at the moment is I'm going to take off all these lifeboats, which I'm just doing now, because there's a lot. I think it's about 40 lifeboats, and there's quite a little bit of work to be done on these. And what I've noticed, one thing I might suggest when you do take these off is try and leave a bit of the sprue nubs on there, because these need to be cleaned up quite a bit. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking off the top and the bottom of the boats, and then I'll come back and I'll just snip them off a little bit closer, and then they need to be sanded back. The ones on the top do, just so that they're flush. They're quite simple to do the way they've connected on there, but the bottoms of the boats, which I'll find one here, these you've got to be a little bit more careful of because they're right on the edge here. So it's best to again cut them off flush after you've taken them off, like I have. So cut that flush, and then come along and use your knife to just get the edge of it down, and then come in from the bottom and get the edge of it, just to take that off cleanly so that you don't affect that little lip that runs all the way around the boat. You don't want to damage that. And then of course these simply go together quite easily like this, with their little connection points. They all seem to fit very well, so this won't be a problem. But like I said, there's 40 I think of these, and I've got a long way to go, so these will take a bit of time. When they do, they'll all get put into a little container here, and I'll set that aside for later. And yeah, so I'll keep going with this, and back shortly with what I'm up to next. Cheers. Okay, hello, welcome back. So what I've done here is I started doing the lifeboats and tidying them up. I got a few done, but then my power supply was available at the shop to pick up, so I went and picked it up, and this is what I've done with it. So now I have this power supply, which I'll show you here. This connects up. You can adjust the voltage down here from 6 volt, 7, 9 volt to 12 volt, and just adjust that how you want. And I plug that in, and then what I've done is I've run the end of it is going to come up through the base like this, and the power line will come out the back of it like that. I haven't secured this in yet. This needs to be secured in here. I haven't figured out how yet, but I'll do that. One little problem is that it's a bit too high, so this doesn't sit flat. It's like 5 mil. That's all it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some little legs on here underneath that will just raise this platform up 5 mil, so that will clear underneath. Don't worry about the state of this. I've just got one coat on here, so this needs a final coat after I've finished mucking around with it, and that will sit in there. And then what we'll do is I've connected, I'll put that down there, this plug here, which has got your socket in the bottom, and that's where that will plug into as the ship sits down on the stand, and there's my power. So all my power will run off these. So that's what I've come up with. So this will simply sit down on the stand here. The plug will go in like that, and we're all good. Obviously that's the wrong way around, but you'll see what I mean. It takes no effort for that to sit down, so just the weight of the ship alone will sit that on there, and bingo, we got power. So there we go. That's the plan. So what I'll do now is I'm going to put this aside here. Figure out a way of getting some sort of bracket in here to hold this in its position under here. Although I don't need to. I mean, it would be better if it did, but I want to be able to remove it as well, in case I have to. So then again, maybe it can be, I can put something in there and glue it down so that'll hold in position there. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm happy with all of that. I also managed to get some more little lights, which I'll put a photo up you can have a look at. Just a mixture of LEDs and stuff from a little dollar shop I found, which I might be able to do something with, we'll see. And yeah, okay, so I'll continue on with these lifeboats now, and get them all tidied up, all the nubs and everything sanded off, and them looking good. Okay, back shortly. Okay, hello, welcome back. So a day has passed, and I've done the lifeboats. They're all trimmed up and tidy and all good. Both sizes. There's some larger ones in the centre of the ship. I think there's about 4 on each side. That's 8 of them. These ones actually need some clear parts in the centre, which is where all the windows will be. And that glass needs to be tinted as well as painted black on it as well. There's decals as well for these larger ones. Now, these I'm going to put them aside and come back to those at a later stage. And I also bought some orange. So this is V-line orange. Don't know what that V-line means, and it says Australian Rail. I don't know, but it's a nice orange and looks pretty good for the colours that I want to match for these the tops of these lifeboats. Look at that, it's a really nice orange. So that's what that'll be. While I was also at my little paint supplier store, I bought some extra German grey. I had one bottle, but these SMS paints you don't thin. You use them straight out of the bottle, which means you use more than normal. So they are 30 mils, but unlike your little Mr. Hobby ones here, or Tamiya, where you can mix them 50-50 and get twice as much, these you don't. These spray on without needing to be thinned, but they do tend to go on better, I think. They leave a really nice thick coat that's almost impossible to scratch off, which is important. So I'll put those aside too. Those will be for later. Now, what else was I going to show you? Alright, so I have yet to figure a way of connecting this inside the base. I'd like to hear from you guys if you've got any suggestions in comments of a way of attaching this in here so that it's pretty much not going to come out, especially when the ship sits down on that. I want that to not get pushed in. Just some way I can mount that Well, basically it's going to go out to the back like that. Some way I can hold that in there. I'll let you guys drop a comment below and offer some suggestions. Yeah, because I've really got no idea how. But there you go. There's one for my subscribers and people watching. Talking about subscribers, by the time you're watching this video and I upload this video, I'm fairly sure I'll have gone over 500 subscribers. And that's fantastic. That's more than I ever thought when I started this channel. I'm really, really happy, and thank you to everybody who's subscribing and following along. Going by the YouTube statistics, not only do I have 500 plus subscribers now, but a lot of you are watching the videos, which is good. It's not like people subscribe and then don't watch my videos again. Something about a high percentage of the people who watch my videos are subscribers, and a lot of new ones coming in too. I'm averaging about an extra 10 to 15 subscribers a week, sometimes more. It all depends, but that's about average, and it's building up. That's great. I'd like to get to 1,000. I really would. 1,000 means that I'll be able to use the comment section in YouTube, where I can post some ideas and a way of communicating, and throw some photographs in there where I can put in a photograph like preview of the video that's about to be released, or ask you guys some questions about suggestions of ideas. Not that I don't ask in the video anyway and we use in the comments, but in the other section you can do all that as well. Yeah, so again, thank you so much for subscribing, and hopefully we'll work our way and crawl our way up to the 1,000 mark. Okay, now I've also, as we look here, I've painted these. So these are all done in the red. They're completely finished now. The shafts in there rotate. I have the blades in here, the screws, but I think I'm going to leave them in here because I don't want them to get damaged. And I think even these will probably be going on way towards the very end of the build, because I don't want to get them damaged, and pieces like that sticking off the hull of your ship are sure to get knocked off or something. So but they've come up really nice. So that's how I'm going to leave those. I'm happy with those, and I've got them numbered because they're all in a special order they need to go on the ship. There's a couple that are supposed to rotate and some don't. Some are fixed, a couple are fixed. Now I know I keep saying I'm going to paint the hull, I'm going to paint the hull, and the video goes by and I still haven't painted the hull. I'm not going to paint the hull in this video either. Reason is that I'm getting a bit far ahead of myself, and I'm doing this in conjunction with Jason's Modelkit Stuff video, whose link will always be down in the description of all these videos of this Queen Mary 2 series. Both him and Stephen Payne are doing the same build of the earlier model version, and I'm taking on their tips and advice to my build, and I hope other people would like to follow along as well, because there's a wealth of knowledge from the two of them. So what I want to do is I want to wait until he's done the hull, masking it all up and prepping it all, so that I can follow on and get just as good a result, I hope, on my ship. Because the hull is going to be a little tricky. There's actually a decal or decal, depending where you're from, that runs the whole length of the hull. And I'll just show you. So here we are here. So there's a red one that runs all the way along here and includes the white waterline mark, which is fantastic. It makes so much more easier. And that's what I want to do. I want to put that on. I'm not sure if Jason's going to do that or not in his video. And if he doesn't and he decides to just paint everything, that's great. That's probably the better option, maybe. Although I tend to go the easy way, you know, but each to our own, hey. So we'll have this red under here, which will be, in my case, the insignia red. So that's going to be the colour of all under here for the hull. Then we'll go up to the darker area, which is going to be the German grey, and that will be done. So pretty much I will just have to mask off a little bit just to cover just to protect the areas. Hit this with the red. It won't matter if it goes over a little bit, because I'm going to use the decal that will go over the whole bottom along this edge here. That will also have my white waterline on it, so that will save me having to mask that up. And then of course we've got the German grey, which will be all of this. But what I'm thinking of doing is, because this has to be painted the white, gloss white, I will probably take that, mask that up first and do the gloss white, and then do the black. I think that makes sense. Yeah, and then do the black. Knowing me, that may change. The order may change. Again, this is another reason why I want to wait and see which way Jason decides to go with his. But I really am looking forward to it, as you know, painting this up. So inside here I've done the red, just little bits in here where the stabilizers will come out from inside, and of course we've got these in here, which you can see are all in place. So, and it will be ready for lights as well. See, that's another thing, is my lighting. So once I do glue this together and paint it, I'll be able to start working down in here for putting in the lighting strips. Because the idea, I'll explain this to you, is that I'll just put this down. Here we go. Now, the LED strip, either one or two that I put down in the bottom here, depending on how bright they are, I do want them quite bright. Now, not too bright, of course. We don't want them blaring out here, these windows looking way too bright. These have to be a nice, not too bright, of course. The idea with the upper areas is, once the deck goes down, the sections of the deck, there'll be another strip of LEDs which will light up the windows of the superstructure. And then above that, where the swimming pools are and the Queen Mary writing on the side of the ship, just behind the funnel, which I will also be lighting up, they're going to be lit up with the fibre optics, and the fibre optics will run down through the deck into the lit up area of LEDs, because what happens is the light goes up through the fibre optics and lights at the tip, and it should be just light enough to put the lights in the pool and anywhere else I want to put lights in, maybe over where the lift is going to be. Any place like that will have tiny little pinpoint light coming from the LEDs, from the fibre optic. But anyway, that's a long way on. Okay, so that's it for this video. I know it was a short one and I didn't get much done, but we're getting there, and I don't want to rush this build. This will take a long time because it is quite a detailed build. It's probably up there with my Kitty Hawk, but those of you who have watched my videos and that will know that my Kitty Hawk I did in 3 months, but of course I worked on that literally 6 hours a day, sometimes 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, and did that in 3 months. Most normally that would take a year to build something like that. I don't want to take this long for this. It won't take that long, but I'm not going to put a time on it, but yeah, we'll see. You know, there's no rush. It's all enjoyment, and I'm really enjoying this, so I'm going to take my time so I get a really nice result out of the end. Okay, so thank you for watching. Thanks for getting me up to over 500 subscribers. Please like and give me a thumbs up for the video, comment below. Got suggestions for that plug in the bottom of the stand, how I can keep that in place, that'd be great. And get over to Modelkit Stuff with Jason, and his link will be in the description, and you can follow his build as I am following his build, and get some really good tips and inside information from him, and also from Stephen Payne, who is the designer of the actual Queen Mary 2. So, you know, where can you get better references than that? Okay, so thanks a lot, and I'll see you in part 5 of the Queen Mary build. Bye for now.